Hey, what's up? So you telling me you haven't invested in crypto yet? Bruh, you missing out. I just bought this NFT that was worth like 5 ETH the other day. It's gonna make me millions soon. 5 ETH? NFT? Isn't that just an image you just take off of Google or something? Seems like you just throwing your money away or it's just a scam. Nah, you're just not getting it though. It's decentralized, no middleman type stuff. Smart contracts do everything for you. I don't gotta do anything. It's the future. Decentralized, smart contract. It sound like, did you hit your head or something? Cause this don't really sound right to me and it's just not easy. I don't understand it. Leave me alone. Sounds kind of familiar? Or maybe you probably overheard some people talking about crypto or throwing terms and all this other jargon stuff all over the place, and you're probably in your head like, these people are crazy. And you're probably right, but you're probably not right. So in this video, I pretty much want to make blockchain seem not so scary. I want to, because you might think it's all tech jargon, but trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be throwing around blockchain terms like it's your second language. So, let's get into it. What is blockchain? Well, I'm gonna just put it like this. You know how we have the Google Docs, right? It's all online. You and your friends, you can view and edit it simultaneously at the same time. There's no need to save and send new versions of your Google Doc around every single time because everything is on the cloud, right? Well, blockchain is similar, but instead of a Google document or just just any type of cloud document, it's a list of transactions that's on the cloud. Each transaction, or a block in this sense, is added to a chain in a chronological order, forming a transparent and permanent record. Got a little tongue tied there. So that pretty much makes it damn near impossible to go back and alter information because everything is permanent and it's online for everyone to see. So it's a transparent, tamper-resistant technology, and it's pretty much the backbone of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Pretty sure you heard those two terms, right? So it's really not just about the money when it comes to blockchain. It's about the trust and transparency of it. So speaking of trust and transparency, next on our list is decentralized. So decentralized is pretty much one of the key ideas of blockchains, behind blockchain. So when it comes to decentralization, there's no central authority or middleman. Instead, it's like a shared database with multiple copies stored on computers globally. So kind of think of like Naruto shadow clone jutsu. There's multiple copies that Naruto can create, and each of them are from Naruto. There are multiple copies of the same entity, and each one is equally valid, until you hit the shadow clone and it disappears. But that doesn't happen in the blockchain world. Everything is permanent. So imagine like a game of telephone. That game we used to play when we were younger, where everyone would pretty much whisper a message into the ear of the person next to them, and then they pass that message along. And by the time, the last person gets the message, it's not really what the original message was. And the reason why that happens is because there's a fault in the line of communication. Because that game pretty much depends on a chain of communication. So when one person fails to communicate the message to the other person, everything collapses. We don't want that to happen. I mean, we kind of seen collapsing in our everyday society today with things being centralized on one central authority, banks. But now just imagine if everyone at the party could whisper the message to everyone else all at once. That'd be a little crazy, but let's just think for a second. There's no chain to break, and everyone gets the same information at the same time. So that in a way is kind of like how decentralization works. So if you ever been frustrated waiting for a bank transfer over the weekend because you're trying to send some money to your boo, or you've been messed around by I don't know, you're trying to get your data from a software that you're trying to get your data from and it's just not going through. Blockchain could be your answer because everything is online, everything is permanent, and just really, literally no one tampering with it. So next up, we have Bitcoin, the superstar of the crypto world, because I'm pretty sure you all have heard of Bitcoin. So picture this, it's 2008, the world is pretty much, we're going through a freaking recession, we're going through our financial crisis. Trust in traditional banking system is literally at an all-time low. Probably not as low as now, but it was pretty low. So then out of nowhere, out of the blue, an anonymous figure named Satoshi Nakamoto, he pretty much drops like this white paper on MacBooks, because we found out that he put it on in a MacBook library. Correct me if I'm wrong, probably getting this wrong. But he drops this white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And he proposes pretty much his new digital currency, Bitcoin. And it's completely decentralized and it's outside the control of any government or organization. So that's pretty much kind of like how Bitcoin came about. This random guy out of nowhere, guy or girl, we're just gonna say guy, or maybe a girl, or maybe it's they. Don't mind me. But this random figure just drops this theology to the world, and now we have this thing called Bitcoin and blockchain. So you want to kind of think of Bitcoin as like a digital gold. You know, it's the first application where blockchain technology, of blockchain technology. It honestly remains the biggest because you can't wear it around your neck or you use it to get some golds. That's not how this type of gold works. But it does have pretty much many similarities to the actual physical thing of gold. It's valuable. We put value on all different types of things. I mean, our paper money isn't really that valuable, but because we as humans add value to it, it's valuable. And it's also finite too, because there will only be 21 billion Bitcoin ever produced. And like I said, it's not controlled by a central entity. So Bitcoin brought blockchain into the limelight, pretty much showing us a new way to think about currency, value, and trust. Because like I said before, we give things value. So why not give this digital currency value, especially how we're seeing how our current systems and just the history behind it isn't really going the way that we want to. So Satoshi pretty much gave a solution for that. Thank you. So let's get a little techie here. So let's talk about cryptography. So cryptography at its heart is all about keeping your secret a secret. So it's like when you're testing your sneaky link late at night, right? And you don't want your messages to be popping up on your family iPad, or you don't want your significant other to look at it because it's a sneaky link, not supposed to be texting out. But you make sure you lock your phone or you try to hide your messages. So that's pretty much a basic level of cryptography at play. It transforms your messages and transactions into complex codes unreadable to anyone who doesn't have the key to decode it. So if you don't have the key, you can't read the codes. And that's pretty much what cryptography is. It's all this mathematical stuff. So instead of just locking your phone or archiving a message with blockchain, it's like you're burying your secret message deep in the vault, and you're guarding it with like 1,000 puzzle pieces, only for you to be the person to solve the puzzle because you're the recipient, right? So cryptography is pretty much essential to blockchain because it helps ensure the privacy, security, and authenticity of every transaction. So simply, it's just a mathematical code to keep everything Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about mining. So in the blockchain world, mining is not about sifting through soil and rocks, but instead is really about processing and verifying transactions. So just imagine you're at the cookout and your uncles and aunties or whoever is at the family reunion, and they all keeping tabs on who brought what dish, who bought the potato salad, who bought the turkey, who bought the macaroni and cheese. They keeping tabs on that. So that's pretty much what mining is. They check each transaction, confirm it's legit, and then add it to the public ledger, or AKA the blockchain. And for their hard work, miners are rewarded with new cryptocurrency tokens. But it is important to note that mining is not easy. It's pretty hard, and it involves complex mathematical problems and a whole lot of computing power. Computers take a lot of energy, and that's why it's important. But so why do we kind of need them, right? So to be honest, in return for their services, we pay them transaction fees, often referred to as gas fees whenever you do anything on the blockchain. So next time you're kind of a little annoyed about gas fees, just remember it's going towards keeping the blockchain network secure and efficient. So we got to pay, it's not free to operate and use the blockchain. We got to pay it, and us paying the gas fees help the miners to keep everything in check. Alright, so we just learned about the engine that drives the blockchain train, aka mining, and we also learned about pretty much a basic of what blockchain is and the theory behind it. So now let's kind of take a little detour and talk about how we store these cryptocurrencies. And that's where pretty much cold and hot wallets come into play. So kind of picture this, right? So you have this ring that you have. Now, you wouldn't just store this ring that's valuable to you anywhere, right? Would you keep it with you all the time, or would you secure it in the bank locker? So that's kind of like the difference between cold storage or wallets and hot wallets. So let's kind of start off with the cold wallet. So it's kind of like a super secure bank locker. Your cryptocurrency is kept offline, away from pretty much the hackers of the internet, because people are always trying to hack something. And it's never connected online, so it makes it a stronghold, like I said, against the hacking attempts. So think of it as like a safe haven for your cryptocurrency, kind of like a Fort Knox, but for your digital gold. Now, on the flip side, we have hot wallets. Now, hot wallets are kind of like your daily use wallets, because you're going to be using it every day, and it's usually connected to the internet. So it's pretty much ready to handle your transaction at a moment's notice, just like you're ready to pull out cash whenever you buy something from Starbucks. That's what you pretty much want to use your hot wallet for. But just like you wouldn't carry your life savings in your back pocket, you don't want to carry all your crypto in your hot wallet. And because it's online, it's vulnerable to attacks. So to kind of give a little bit of an analogy of it, because One Piece is like my favorite anime. Not favorite, but it's one of my favorites because I'm kind of tight on it. So just imagine if you were Luffy, and Luffy already has the One Piece. Now, would Luffy carry the One Piece around with him as he out in the sea, or will he store it somewhere safe, like, I don't know, the bottom of the ocean, because he can't swim, right? So that's kind of like the difference between hot and cold wallets. So just remember, keep it hot for day-to-day transactions, but go cold for long-term cash. That's all you gotta do. And besides, we don't want our digital gold in the wrong hands, right? So you decide which way you want to handle your money. So last but not least, let's talk about Ethereum and Ether. So Ethereum is pretty much Bitcoin's hip tech savvy cousin. Let's just put it like that, right? So while Bitcoin introduced the idea of digital currencies, Ethereum took things a little bit further and gave us something a little bit more. It gave us a platform to build and execute smart contracts and decentralized applications, also known as dApps, which we'll probably go on further down the history of this channel. So imagine Ethereum as the App Store, right? Apple's App Store. But instead of just downloading apps to use on your phone, you can actually create your own apps on the App Store and share it with the world. Technically, that is how it works, but not really. But you have the power to create a whole new Instagram or Uber with no middleman. Just imagine that, right? So Ether, on the other hand, Ether is pretty much it's what we use to pay for transaction fees and services when you interact on the Ethereum network. Remember what I said about miners? So whether you're trying to transfer funds or create a new contract or even set up your new dApp, you have to use Ether to pay for it. Now there's a whole load of other networks out there besides Ethereum, and each of them have their own unique features and applications. You know, from Bitcoin to Cardano, from Polkadot to Solana. Each network is a unique world in itself, and it's like pretty much built with different purposes and functionalities. And they all share a common foundation, the revolutionary concept of blockchain. So thank you for watching. If you're interested to learn a little bit more about the different terms and just like a beginner's guide to blockchain, I would recommend going and using the blockchain glossary for beginners by Consensus. It's a great place to start digging a little bit deeper. And just to let you know, this is not a promo. I just use them to learn about to educate myself. So there'll be a link in the bio for that resource. You know, as a UX designer in the tech blockchain industry, and even more so as a Black woman in the tech and blockchain industry, or just any industry at all, you know, I've always believed in the power of education and sharing knowledge. And that's kind of like why I started this channel, to bring the knowledge that I'm learning and share it to the world and get everybody closer to this technology and make it more easier to digest, because I think everyone should know about this. But today and tomorrow, and just as I go along this journey, I kind of need your help. I started a fundraiser on GoFundMe to support my UX bootcamp. The funds will be raised to help me enhance my skills, allow me to produce even better content, and just bring you obviously along the journey of my career as a UX and product designer. The bootcamp is called She Designs. It's the bootcamp catered towards women like me to break into the tech industry. So if you enjoy my videos or you learn something new, I'd be grateful if you could contribute whatever you can. And hey, it's really not just about the money. You can just help me by sharing the fundraiser with friends and family. You know, the more people know, the more support I can gather, or that we can gather, create a community behind just to share knowledge. So just remember, every little bit helps, and your support literally means the world to me. So I'll drop the link to the GoFundMe in the description below. And you can check it out, you can share it, contribute to it if you can, and let's just explore together as we go down this road of design and technology. And just chill and hang out. And that's blockchain in a nutshell. You see, it's much more complex and fascinating once you start diving a little bit deeper. So if you found this useful or want to know a bit more, you know, drop a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more, obviously, tech insights. And until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and remember, blockchain really is not that scary as it seems. We just gotta make the education a bit more engaging. This is Aaliyah, and you're experiencing Appear Creative.